Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to discuss the MCQ part of 2022 O-Level MCQ paper. So let's move on. Question number 1. What is the organ that mainly performs nitrogen excretion of human? Right. So when you take nitrogen excretions, there are mainly three nitrogen excreted products. They are urea, uric acid, and creatinine. Right. So out of these three, creatinine is only excreted through kidneys. So the main organ which perform nitrous excretion is kidneys. So answer should be kidneys. Lungs, it excretes water vapor and carbon dioxide mainly. Skin, it excretes mainly water, salts, a little bit of urea likewise. And liver is not a nitrous excretory organ. Okay. So question number 2, unit of pressure is. So remind pressure is equal to force over area, right? So force is measured in newtons, area is measured in square meters. So you get the answer as N m minus 2. So answer is second one. Third, what is the type of biomolecule in which hydrogen and oxygen atoms are combined in the ratio of 2:1? So that should be carbohydrate. Molecule formula of carbohydrate is CX H2O times Y, which means here hydrogen to oxygen ratio is 2:1. Okay. So for lipids, element composition is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, same as that of carbohydrate, but the ratio is not 2:1. For protein, elemental composition is CHON. Sometimes S can be there. For nucleic acid, it should be CHONP. Then question number 4. Say the correct statement given about atoms. Right? The nucleus of all the atoms of every element contain neutrons. That's wrong. Because all the atoms, if you take protium, that is hydrogen 1, in this atom, you don't get any neutrons. Neutron number is 0. Proton number is 1. So first one, that's wrong because the word all is not valid here. Answer number 2. In every atom, the number of neutrons, number of protons in the nucleus are equal. That's wrong. So if you take chlorine 1735, here number of protons and number of neutrons are very different. Atomic numbers of two atoms of different elements can be equal. No. Why? Atomic number is like an identity card number, right? So let's say hydrogen atomic number is 1. So if atomic number is 1, then that element should be hydrogen. No other element can have the atomic number 1. Likewise, like if you have identity card number, that number cannot be taken by others. Ne? So likewise, same goes with these elements. So third is also wrong. Fourth, there may be atoms with different mass numbers in the same element. Yes. We call these as isotopes of the same elements. So there can be isotopes. Okay, so for chlorine, there is isotope chlorine 1737, 1735, likewise. If you take hydrogen, you have protium, deuterium, tritium. You can have isotopes. Then question number 5. Of the following plant tissues, which is a complex permanent tissue? So if it's a complex permanent tissue, it should consist of either xylem or phloem. So answer is fourth one. These parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma are called as simple permanent tissues, which means they consist of only one type of cells. For complex permanent tissues, they contain different type of cells. So for xylem, there are 4 different types of cells. If you can remember, xylem parenchyma, xylem sclerenchyma, tracheids and vessel elements. Those are the 4. Then question number 6. What is the particle that contributes to the flow of an electric current through a metallic conductor? It should be electron. Electrons are the ones which helps to conduct current, right? So electrons move from negative terminal to positive terminal. Then we say the conventional current move from positive to negative. Question number 7. In the above chemical equation, the metal indicated as M could be. See, in this equation, M has reacted with zinc sulfate and M has displaced zinc, which means M should have high reactivity than zinc. Remind about the activity series. So you have potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc. So this M metal should be either one of these, either potassium, sodium, or calcium, or magnesium, or aluminium, right? An element which is above zinc. Then, out of the answers given, so you can omit this answer, you can omit this answer. So you can omit iron as well. So answer is magnesium. Third one is the answer. Eighth, what's the type of reaction to which the above chemical equation belongs to? Here you can see zinc is displaced. Only single element has been displaced. So we call it as single displacement reaction. Third answer. Question number 9. The kingdom to which only heterotrophs belong are. Let's read the answers. Fungi and Protista. You cannot take Protista because there are algae which are autotrophs. So you cannot take this answer. Here also you have Protista. You can cut that off. Then you have Plantae. You know, plants are green, which means they can do photosynthesis, which are autotrophs. So we can cut it off. So answer is fourth one. Fungi and Animalia. These are heterotrophs, which means they cannot produce their own food. 10th of the following structures, select the repeating unit of polythene. So for the repeating unit, it should break the middle double bond. So answer should be second one. This third answer indicates the polymer form, while this indicates monomorph polythene. Question number 11. Which is the phenomenon that cannot be explained by the total internal reflection? See, traveling of light through optical fibers. Yeah, you can tell it because in optical fibers, light travel through total internal reflection always. Then making diamonds shine by cutting and portion, that's also correct. Forming of a rainbow of dispersion of light, no, you cannot take this. This dispersion. Fourth answer, turning a right lane night by rectangle, that's also can be taken. So answer is third one. 12th question. Which of the following is a change that occurs after the process of fertilization of a flower? With the answers, ovary turning into pericarp, that's wrong. Ovary converts into fruit, so it's wrong. Ovules turn into seeds, and that's correct. Sepals turn into seed coat, no. Sepals, petals, all of those will be fallen off. Then integument turn into pericarp, no. Wall of the ovary will become the pericarp or the fruit wall. Then wall of ovule will become the seed coat, right? So those are the changes that can occur. 13. Which of the following is not a characteristic of the smooth muscle tissue? Cells being uninucleate, that's correct. Cells are spindle shaped, that's also correct. Having cross striations, that's wrong. Because if you can remember, smooth muscle cells are having a spindle shape, uninucleated one without any striations. Right? And they act as involuntary and they are also correct. So 13 answer is second one. 14. Consider the following statements given about mechanical waves. First one, the frequency of the wave changes on entry from one medium to another. That's wrong. You should keep in mind that frequency only depends on the source. So let's say if I am emitting a sound frequency of let's say 500 hertz, it will be 500 hertz as it go along in different mediums. Only the speed and the wavelength will be changing when entering from one medium to another. Let's consider statement B. The speed of the wave does not depend on its frequency. Yeah, that's correct. Speed of the wave depends on the medium. That's correct. The speed of the wave depends on the medium to it which travels. Yeah, that's also correct. So answer is fourth one, only B and C. 15th, given below some information regarding a certain element. See, it comes second in the order of the abundance elements in the earth crust. So it should be silicon. Let's read the other ones as well. Then second statement shows semiconductor properties. It should be either silicon or germanium. Semiconductors in your syllabus, you have silicon and germanium. Third statement shows metallic properties as well as non-metallic properties. So it should be a metalloid. So if you omit the answers, you can omit 1 and 4. It should be either silicon or boron because it should be metalloid. But out of silicon and boron, highest abundance is silicon because in sand you can find silicon, right? So even sand is used to make glass even because it contains silicon. So answer is second one. 16th, a group of students count the number of animals in unit area of an ecosystem. Those numbers are given below. Then they are asking the number of animals belong to phylum Annelida. Okay, let's see. Butterfly, it's an arthropod, so you cannot take it. Spider, it's an arthropod, you cannot take it. Snail, mollusca, you cannot take it. Earthworm, it's an annelid, you can take. Leech, annelid, you can take. Centipede is an arthropod. Gecko, it's a reptile, so you cannot take it. So 1 and 2 altogether should be 3. Third answer. Let's see question number 17. Of the following compounds, what is the compound which percentage of oxygen by mass is 50%? So I will show you how to find this. So here you have NH4OH. If you calculate the total, you have nitrogen 14, hydrogen 4, that means 1 into 4. then oxygen 16 and 1. Altogether, you'll get it here 20, 34, 35. But out of that, oxygen is 16. So 16 or 35, it's not 50%. Let's say calcium hydroxide. For this, calcium is having 40, OH altogether it's 16 plus 1, 17 times 2 means 17 times 2. That will be 34. So this will be 74 total. So out of 74, you have oxygen 32, 16 times 2. It's not 50%. Then let's say CH3OH, you have carbon 12, hydrogen 3, oxygen 16, and hydrogen 1. If you calculate this, you'll get 32. So out of this, you have only one oxygen, so 16 out of 32, which will give you 50%. This should be the answer. But let's say, let's see the magnesium carbonate as well. Magnesium is 24, carbon 12, oxygen 16 times 3 is 48. So obviously it's not coming, right? Oxygen, you have 48. So answer is third one. 18th question. What is the advantage of using handle fixed to a door in the occasion of opening and closing it? First one, adequacy of applying a low moment of force. No, we are fixing a handle so that we can have a high moment of force, right? Lesser force, higher distance with that high moment of force. So it's wrong. Being able to execute a greater rotation. No, by fixing handle, you are not going to execute a greater rotation. That's also wrong. Third, adequate of applying a small force. Yeah, that's correct. Fourth one, reduction of the amount of work done. No, you're not going to reduce the work done by putting a handle there. Right? So answer is third one. We can apply a smaller force and give a greater moment so that we can easily open and close the door. Question number 19. In the male reproductive system, sperms are produced in the, they have given four answers. So sperms are produced in seminiferous tubules in the testis. So answer is first one. Penis is used to introduce the sperms into the female reproductive tract. Prostate gland and seminal vesicles are two axillary glands which are used to produce the liquid which comes with the sperm. We call it as semen. 20th. What is the statement that is true with respect to all the molecules given below? Let's see. The electron octet of the central atom of the molecule is completed. Yes. If you draw it and see, you will get it. So this is carbon, oxygen. This is the Lewis structure of carbon dioxide. You can see there are four lines which indicates 8 electrons. In for ammonia, NH3. Here also, if you draw it, you have 2, 4, 6, and together with these 2, 8. Octet is complete. Then if you draw water as well, here HH. Here also 2 lines, which means 4 electrons, and there are 4 lone electrons as well. So altogether it will conduct 8. So that's correct. Let's see the other ones as well. Only single bonds occur among the atoms of the molecule. No, here in carbon dioxide, it's double bonds, so it's wrong. Lone pairs of electrons are present on the center of atom of the molecules. In carbon dioxide, it's present in terminal atoms, not in the central atom. It's also wrong. The molecules exist only at gas at the room temperature. Water is present as a liquid in room temperature, so it's also wrong. Answer is first one. 21st question. Consider the following statement given about heat transfer. First, sea breeze and land breeze occur due to conduction. No, not due to conduction. It occurs due to convection. So it's wrong. Second one, heat reaches the earth from the sun by radiation. That's correct. Then C, when a metal spoon is put into a hot cup of tea, it is heated by convection. That's wrong. It should be conduction. So if you're holding something and if heat comes through that solid, then it definitely should be conduction. Other than conduction, there can be radiation as well, but main method of heat transfer through solid is conduction, right? So only B is correct here. Answer number 2. Question number 22. A function of hormone adrenaline is preparing the body to respond in emergency condition. Yes, that's the answer. We say so activities as adrenaline chunk, adrenaline activities. Those you can do it with thrills like jumping from a cliff. Likewise, those are called as adrenaline jump, adrenaline games. Second one, controlling the rate of metabolic activities in the body is done by thyroxine. Then third one, stimulating growth of bones, that is done by growth hormone. So fourth one, stimulating the spermatogenesis of males. So it is mainly done by stimulation is mainly done by follicle stimulating hormone. Other than that, testosterone also is needed. So for this answer is first one. 23rd, what's the amount of mass of oxygen in 64 grams of oxygen? So you can just find it. Mass or molar mass. Mass is 64 grams. O2, so it should be 32 grams per mole. So you can get the answer as 2. 2 moles. Second one is the answer. Question number 24. In a transformer, the voltage supplied to the primary coil is 120 volt, while the voltage received from the secondary coil is 12 volt. If the current flowing through the primary coil is 2 amperes, what is the current flowing through the secondary coil? So you have a voltage ratio as well as a current ratio. So the equation that we are going to use is NP over NS is equal to IS over IP, right? So here primary coil you have 120 volts, secondary coil you have 12. Then they have given current in primary coil is 2 amperes. So simplify this, you will get current in secondary amperes 20 amperes. Answer is fourth one. Question number 25. Lactic acid is produced in the anaerobic respiration that takes place in animal cells. That's correct. Lactic acid is the one which gives you cramps when there is low amount of oxygen within the body. So it occurs in animal cell. The amount of energy produced in anaerobic respiration is higher than that in aerobic respiration. That's wrong. It should be lower. If you take the numbers, aerobic respiration, it will produce around 38 ATPs, while anaerobic respiration produces only 2 ATP. Then part C, a part of energy produced during anaerobic respiration stored as ATP, and that's correct. So answer is A and C. Question number 26. Indicated here is the velocity time graph for the motion of a certain object. They ask what is the displacement of the object from the beginning to 20 seconds. So to find the displacement in a velocity time graph, you should find the area under the graph. So you can find area under this graph by finding area of this trapezium. So area of a trapezium found by half into sum of two parallel lines, that is 20 plus 10 into perpendicular height, that is 10. So simplify this, you will get 30 times 5, answer is 150 meters. That one is the answer. 27. Consider the following statements. In chemical industries, catalysts are used to obtain higher yield in a shorter period of time. Yes, that's correct. We say rate of reaction is increased by catalyst. The next one, catalysts increase as well as decrease the rate of chemical reaction. That's wrong. Catalysts will not decrease the rate of reaction. Inhibitors are the ones which will decrease the rate of reactions. For an example, inhibitor, sulfuric acid will be the inhibitor for dissociation of H2O2, hydrogen peroxide. 28. Which of the following phenomena agrees most with the Newton's third law of motion? See, Newton's third law, remember Newton's third law? Every action has equal and opposite reaction force. Okay. So first one, a ball falling down from a higher level, bouncing after touching the ground. Yeah, you can take it. Action reaction force. Second one, the velocity of fruit falling from tree reaching its maximum value when it comes to close to the ground. So it's kind of acceleration. So it should be mostly in Newton's second law. The next one, flinging of passengers forward when brakes are suddenly applied to a running bus. That is Newton's first law. Until an unbalanced force is acted upon an object, the object at rest will maintain stillness and the object in motion will continue to move with uniform velocity. That happens in this third one. Fourth, change the direction of a moving football by kicking it. So by kicking it, you are going to apply a force, which means it should be Newton's second law. So answer is first one. 29. The need of which factor for autogenesis is expected to be tested by this setup. So you have KOH, which means it absorbs carbon dioxide, which means the limiting factor is carbon dioxide. So answer is fourth one. 30th, what is the option labeled as X in the above figure? So we are putting X as a control experiment for this main experiment, right? So for that, we are going to use water, right? We are not going to use any other thing. Let's move to question number 31. They're asking what is the mass of glucose required to prepare 1 decimeter cube of a 0.1 mole per decimeter cube glucose solution, right? So they are telling the concentration as 0.1, so you can apply the equation as well. Concentration is equal to moles of volume. Concentration is 0.1 times n divided by 1. So number of moles will be 0.1 moles. So take this, the other equation, mass or molar mass. Here number of moles will be 0.1. Mass here we don't know, that's what we have to find. Then molar mass of glucose is 180. So cross multiply, you'll get the mass as 18 grams. So answer is third one. Question number 32. The figure shows how horizontal force P is applied on the object placed on a plane. When the value of P gradually increase from 0, friction force acting on the object. Let's see. takes a constant value continuously from the beginning? No. When you're applying a force, the friction force should also be increasing. Right? I will show you a graph at the end of this question. That will be the graph for friction force versus applied force. It's wrong. Second one, increases gradually from 0 to a maximum value. Yeah, that's correct. But after achieving the maximum value, it will decrease slightly and have a constant value. Okay. Let's read the other ones as well. Increases gradually from 0 to maximum, then decreases gradually. No, that's wrong. Not decreasing gradually. Fourth one, increase gradually from 0 to maximum and then decrease slightly and takes one. That should be the answer. So this is the graph which shows that applied force versus the frictional force. 33. Arrangement of ABCD set up by student in the laboratory using a 4 clean iron nails study about corrosion. When observed after a few days, the nail which arrangement has corroded least. So we should know what are the factors which cause corrosion and what are the increasing factors as well. So factors which cause corrosion are water, which means moisture. Another one is oxygen. We also call it as air, right? So oxygen and water is needed for a iron to rust. Other than that, if you have salt or an acid, the rate will be increasing. So here in first one you have seawater, which means higher rate, higher corrosion. Here in B you have vinegar, it's acid, so it's also higher corrosion. Then you have two setups, one with zinc plate and nail, other one with copper plate and nail. So nail is made up of iron, right? So this is a kind of a electrochemical cell. So in electrochemical cell, the metal or the element which is in higher inactivity series will be undergoing oxidation by protecting the other metal, right? So here in third answer, zinc will be oxidizing by making the iron as the cathode. So we call it as cathodic protection. So C will be the one which is having least corrosion. If you take answer D, you have copper plated iron. So iron is having higher reactivity than copper, which means iron will be oxidizing. So that if iron is oxidizing, it will be corroded. So answer number C. Third one. 34. By connecting conducting wires between X and Y in the circuit shown in the figure, the bulb can be lighted. The three instances of three wires made of same metal were connected between X and Y, and brightness was measured. Right? So we have different ones. So they're asking brightness of the bulb increases, increasing order of brightness, right? Okay, let's see. In these type of questions, first find which one will have the brightest one, right? So you have thin long wire, thick short wire, and thin short wire, right? So if you take thin long wire, diameter is very small as well as it has a larger length, which means it will have a higher resistance, right? So there are three factors which affect resistance in a conductor. One is length, number two is cross-sectional area of the diameter, another one is the material. So here it says thin long wire, which means high resistance, so low brightness. Then here in B, thick and short, other one is thin and short. So both are short, which means the resistivity depends on the cross-sectional area. If it is thick, which means low resistance, then if it is thin, it has a certain amount of resistance. So least resistance will have the highest current will be having the brightest bulb. So B should be the highest one. So answer is second one. 35. In a water barometer, the vertical height of the water column is 10 meters. What is the atmospheric pressure at that instance? Okay, so you can apply H rho G. Height is 10 meters. Density is 1000 and G is 10. So we'll get the answer as 100,000 Pascal or 1 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal. Answer is fourth one. 36. What is the chemical compound that ionizes completely in aqueous solution and releases H plus ions? So if it releases H plus ion, it should be acid. If it ionizes completely, it should be strong acid. So out of these, strong acid is nitric acid. So I will tell the other acids as well. Other strong acids are hydrochloric acids and H2SO4. Right? So these three are the main strong acids in your syllabus. Other than this, you have HBr, HI, HClO4 as well. So these are the six main strong acids you can find in yellow syllabus as well. So the main three are nitric acid, HCl, and H2SO4. Question number 37. A food web that can be seen in terrestrial ecosystem is shown. What's the most correct inference that can be made based on the food web. They're asking the most correct one, right? R is a herbivore. Yeah. These two, P and Q, should be producers because the food web starts from them. Then these two should be green plants. Then R is a herbivore. It can be a herbivore or it can be omnivore as well. We cannot surely tell it, right? Let's keep that answer. Then U is a carnivore. Here also, U eats T and S, but who knows? It might eat plants as well. It might be omnivore. We can't know. Then third one, S is an omnivore. Yeah, you can surely tell it, ne? S eats plants as well as an animal. So S surely should be an omnivore. Third one is the answer. Let's say fourth one also. V is an omnivore. Yeah, we cannot say V is an omnivore or a carnivore. Who knows? So most correct inference is third one. For 38, of the following, which options indicates the causes of action relevant to sustainable use of resources and use of renewable energy resources, respectively? See, waste management and production of electricity by wind power. Yeah, that's correct, I think. Let's see the other answers as well. Reforestation and production of electricity by coal. No, wrong. You're not going to use coal for a sustainable development, right? Because coal will be finishing by 2050 or something. So you cannot take it as a sustainable use of the resources. Third one, converting marshlands into cultivate. No, marshlands or wetlands are not used to cultivate lands because there are several other functions of those marshlands. So if we are going to destroy and make them cultivable lands, then other functions will be gone down. All the ecosystems will be dropped down. Then fourth one, minimizing food mine and production of waste by mineral oil. No, mineral oil or crude oil you are going to use as a sustainable use. So answer is first one. 39. Which option indicates a chemical species affecting environmental crisis, ozone layer depletion, acid rain, and eutrophication? So for ozone layer depletion, you have CFC and NO. For acid rains, you have sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, and nitrogen dioxide. These are three gases. For eutrophication, you have phosphate and nitrate ions. So by considering these, let's find the answer. First answer should be either CFC or NO. So third answer can be omitted. Then second one, it should be NO2 or SO2. That's also correct. For third one, eutrophication, it should be phosphate or nitrate. So answer is second one. Here you cannot take carbonate, you cannot take sulfate. So second one is the answer. 40th, select the pair with inversely proportional relationship. Inversely proportional means when one is increasing, other one should decrease, right? So let's see. Consideration of greenhouse gases and atmospheric temperature. When greenhouse gas increase, temperature increase. That's correct. That is the main cause for global warming as well. That's a direct proportion one. Then food mile and carbon footprint. So let's say when the food mile is very high, it should be transported to a larger distance. So when transporting, we are using vehicles, which means on the other hand, the amount of carbon dioxide released from the vehicle is high. So carbon footprint is high, directly proportional. Next one, deforestation and desertification. When the deforestation is increasing, more and more forests are destroyed, which means ultimately it will connect to a desert. So it's also direct proportional. So answer should be fourth one. Let's say emergence of invasive species and biodiversity. Yes. When invasive species increase, the biodiversity in the ecosystem will be dropped down. So it's an inversely proportional one. So answer is fourth one. And that's it for 2022 oral paper. Subscribe for more. We'll be meeting in another video. Thank you.